All right, next, it's been a long time coming, but we're ready to install the NSX-R headliner. So these come on NA1, or actually, sorry, NA2 Type Rs, O2 to O5 Type Rs, because they're coupes in Japan. So here's a look at it. Here's a look at the texture. About all this, I'll link all the part numbers for all these pieces in the comments below. I'll post them on screen as well. I ordered this one from Impex Japan. I ordered all of these from Amiyama. The only thing that you're going to run into as an issue, unless you have it already somehow, is the black grommet, plastic grommet for the seatbelt, the guide. Those only come with black seatbelts, and they're discontinued. So what I'm going to do is probably try to wrap mine in Alcantara. So here's a look again. We got the B pillars, A pillars, the 3 visors, and you need also the black mirror. I mean, it's not black dome light. We're gonna jump right into this, but essentially you're gonna remove all these panels in the back, just so you can remove the B pillars. So it's kind of a lot of tedious work. You know, gotta remove the sill all the way up just to get to the plastic and the bolts holding on to the B pillar. And then, you know, obviously you have to remove your stock visors and all that, but it's all plastic clips up top. There's like 5 or 6 holding on the headliner only. So once you get to it, it should be pretty easy, but just getting to all this junk is kind of a pain. So, and obviously you have to take out your seats because you have to fish the seat belts through the existing B pillar trims. So yeah, a lot of tedious work just to get access to everything, but once you're there, it should be easy. So I'm gonna put you guys on a tripod and start taking off these panels. So I think the first thing you're gonna have to do is take off this back panel right here, and I believe it just slides up and off. Right. So there's clips. I'm missing a couple clips, but you can see here, this is the top side. There's 3 clips, missing 1, and the bottom side hooks on. So it hooks on to this piece right here. So you're gonna want to, next time, if I remember, pop out the top and then slide upwards. Okay, and now you're gonna wanna do these. These are, I think, 4 clips which break quite easily. Okay, so you can see here I have duct tape on here and stuff from the previous owner. It's super common to break these. But anyway, these are the locations. So they're pretty close to the corners. These ones are kind of up farther from the bottom. So you're gonna wanna have like a longish kind of pry tool to access it. And then I forgot to mention on the driver's side to remove the door sill, you're gonna have to remove the gas lid plastic piece first. You have to remove the gas lid plastic piece. It just slides off. And you're gonna have to remove the engine lid release, which is a little bit more difficult. There is a C-clip that goes in here that I did not have. So I can't show you how to remove that. It would be hard to show you anyway. But all right, now for the engine hatch. It's good idea to take a quick look at the anatomy of this thing. Basically, of course, this is up and this is down. And you'll see here that there's 2 slots up 180 degrees. One's up the very top, one's at the very bottom in this kind of cylinder piece right here. So those 2 slots are where you're going to slide this. After you put this piece over the peg that's in the chassis, which I'll show you in a second, you're going to slide this clip into the 2 slots like that. And it's going to lock in this whole piece around this peg sticking out of your chassis. And so that's important to note because you need to know like where you're fishing, and you need to make sure that your latch is on straight. And then of course, you're gonna stick a pick in there and then just kind of pry it out like that. So it might go flying like that. in the chassis, so make sure that your car is clean and that you don't lose this piece. I've gone without this piece for years, so it's not necessarily necessary, but your latch will definitely just fall off without it if you're not careful. So let's go ahead and show you the peg inside the car right now. All right, so here is the peg sticking out from inside the car. And of course this latch sits on here. You can see this peg has kind of squared off sides. So it kind of only sits on there at certain angles. So it's not very hard to align it. So it sits on there like that, and then you're gonna have to slide this into the side. Pull it off again really quick. You can see that there's a groove in the middle of this peg, and that's where this C-clip is going to lock in. So I'm going to install it. Okay, this is the best angle I can give you guys without having my hand being in the way. If I put the camera over near the back wall, my hand will just be in the way. So this latch is going to go all the way back until it stops. And you're going to want to remember that slot that was in the back of this latch. It's right up against the back of, well, remember this slot. The up and down slot is right up against the back of this piece. So you're going to have to, I'm putting this in, I'm going to hold it with my finger up against the back of this thing. And remember, the positioning is going to be perfectly in the middle of top and bottom because it's going sideways. And you might need a flathead. You might need something like this to help push it. I can still see from the front angle that the clip is kind of sticking out. So there, pushed it in. It's secure, it's snapped in. You just heard it snap and it works. So now I'm going to show you, probably you guys are more interested in how to remove it, since the clip is very hidden now. So this is why it's a good idea to have an idea of what you're looking at, because you're going to have to kind of do this blindly. So I'm going to feel behind here. I can't even see from my angle. I'm further forward than the camera is because the camera is wedged between my seat and the back. And I'm going to fish it in here. Kind of try to hook. There it is. So my clip just popped out into my chassis, and here's the clip. So that's how you remove this. All you need is kind of one of these hook picks and maybe a flathead to install it. Let's go ahead and install it again. Once again, this piece is kind of square, so you can only install it, like if you install it again, you can install it this way, but that's not going to do you any good, right? All the way in. Use a flathead. Pull it up. I pulled this piece out a little bit so I could hear it click in to place. And that's it. So hope that's valuable for you all on the engine lid latch. A lot of questions about how to get that clip out. So it's pretty easy again. So just need the right tools. Really quick important note, you saw the clip fly out when I both showed it to you on my workbench and when I removed it on the car. You want to make sure that if you want to be extra careful, cover areas like that where there's openings in the carpet if you have something like that, or if you maybe have a stock seat where there's not as much room under it as there is in mine to reach underneath. You may want to put like a blanket here or something like that just to catch it, because a 5-minute job could turn into a 20-minute job if you have to take out your seats or anything like that, or if you don't even know how to take out your seats, could turn into a multiple day job. So just a tip, be careful about where, take precautions about that clip flying out. So you got to remove the engine lid thing release to remove this piece, and the gas lid release to remove the door sill trim. So we're going to leave this in place. So now we're just going to remove this piece, which has some Phillips. So there should be 3. Mine's missing one. I'm going to pull out this trim a little bit. Okay. So there's the B-pillar. You can see that there's these curved clips that come off, and there's 3 bolt holes to remove this piece. Next, always nice finding the missing clips everywhere. Okay, so you just saw me remove that. These are notorious for breaking, so I hear. This is actually my first time removing this, just because these guys, same thing that hold in the door sash covers on the door panels, they're, you know, it's just holding on to plastic. So it helps try to have one of these. So I was able to reach across from this side all the way to this back side and pop this off. This one already was off, so it depends on how tight it is. But yeah, that's how I remove that. So in order to remove the seatbelt guide, we're just going to pop it off like that. And now we can feed the seatbelt through. So just like this. All right, and so we have some bolts holding in the headliner on this side. So let me go ahead and remove the other side off camera, and then I'll get back at you when we start removing the A-pillars and the sun visors. All right, so next is the visors. We're going to remove these Phillips screws. At least they're Phillips on mine. And I don't know why, it seems like the black visors came with only 1 screw per visor, which doesn't really make sense. I thought I might have lost it because one package was open. However, I opened the other visor, which had never been opened before. It only came with 1 screw, and they're black. So I'm gonna have to go find some black screws later on. But there's 2 screws holding in the center visor. And then for the mirror, so you're gonna wanna use like a very thin screwdriver instead of this, but I'm lazy to go get one. All right, so there are 2 Phillips holding it in. And unplug it. I'm gonna remove the driver's side visor. And the A-pillar should just pop off. So you can probably just grab it, but if you don't want to grab it, yeah. So there's 3 clips. One of my clips is broken, which is why it came off so easily, of course. And this wire, you're not going to have that wire. That wire is for my dash cam. So I will also show you how I routed my dash cam, because it's a 2-channel, meaning it has a rear camera also. So I basically just ran the power down the front dash and then ran 1 wire back through the headliner. So the headliner looks like it's ready to come out. It's just 4 screws on each corner and then some clips. So I'm going to pop the back off. Careful of your mirror. So there's a clip right here. And so definitely, if you want to save your headliner and possibly sell it or something, there's 3 clips. They're kind of far in though, so it's like right here, 1, 2, and 3. So it definitely, a long interior pry tool will help you. Right. Okay, so here's a look at the roof without the headliner. So again, here are the places where the clips go. Of course, here's my dash cam. So I'm going to clean up the wiring right now. But other than that, all you need to do is install the new headliner, just like how you remove the OEM one. All right, so actually this thing is flexible, so I thought I was going to have to wrap it on the car. since I didn't want to take out the seatbelt, even though it's probably pretty easy to take out the seatbelts. This thing just flexed over the seatbelt and the plastic guide. So I was able to remove it. I wiped it down with alcohol, and now we're going to see if this works. We're going to see in real time, because essentially I'm just going to glue this, trim it, and flap some pieces over it, and then trim the center. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, it's been roughly a minute. I am going to assemble this. So you see they're slightly offset from each other, so I made sure to attach the largest portion first, and then I am pulling it in like that. Once I make this cut in the center, it'll be able to pull the rest in. I just want to make sure all the major surfaces are handled. So let's see, what's going to be the easiest way to cut this? Something like that. And then use my fabric scissors. Again, this is real time. This is my first time trying this. We're going to see if it works or not. It may not. Okay. To get it to really stick very well, you do need to glue both sides. So there's a reason why I haven't folded these pieces over yet. It's because I need to put some glue on this plastic too. So let's trim it. Try not to trim too much. Can always trim more later. Right. So it's a little bit too much, so I need to trim off a little bit more. All right. So what I'm going to do now is put a piece of tape underneath this gap here, since I already cut it, because this glue has a tendency to spray like a Spider-Man web spray and kind of like fling all over the place. So what happens is when there's an edge like this, it ends up kind of swinging itself over to the front side, and you don't want glue on the front side. So let me grab some tape. Okay, see if that works. Now we are going to spray again. Wait another 60 seconds. And I forgot about the glue. So this is exactly what I was talking about. You do want to clean this off before it hardens. Too worried about the inside and not worried about the outside. This is a little tricky because you don't want to touch the front side with your glue hands. After 60 seconds, you're going to want to start folding it in. I'm going to have to cut some relief cuts. This is where having the fabric scissors really helps. Okay, let's attach this inside. Okay, and we are done. Not too bad. My concern is the inside where the seatbelt's going to be constantly coming in and out. So your seatbelt's going to be kind of feeding through here like this, right? Up and down, up and down. And I'm afraid it's going to pull this piece of the Alcantara down. So I'm going to line it with some tape right now while it's a little tacky. Okay, again, it's not pretty, but hopefully this tape will help keep the Alcantara from coming up as it's passing through here. Okay, so again, here's the final product. It's not super smooth around the edges, but I'm not too worried about that because it's not going to be an area that's going to get a lot of attention. I just wanted it to not draw attention, being a opposite color of what the Type R is. So we're going to throw this on and see how it looks. Well, and I can just show you guys right now how it looks. So I didn't fully install it yet, but not bad. So from far away, it looks perfectly fine. So I like it. I don't mind the mixture of material. I did have, you know, this kind of material. This is kind of basically like what you would use on when you reupholster scrim. So it's the scrim, the padding that I use basically when I reupholster door panels and stuff like that. So I could have used that, but I think this will be a lot better. All right, so that went in nice and easy. And then you just need to put in the screws. All right, that's looking really good. So now I'm gonna slip this over this piece, over the seat belt. If you're worried about it breaking, you probably want to heat it up with a heat gun. Get the plastic a little bit more soft. I'm living dangerously right now. Okay, that does it for the Type R headliner. I still need to put it on the back panels, but you guys know how that goes on. Just 4 pins or 4 plastic clips for this piece, and then on the top piece, hook it on, and then clip in the top part of it. So anyhow, looks really good. Really happy with it. And a little bit of a pain to do, but not terrible. You just need a lot of time to do it.